Well, hello, everybody.
Hello. Let's see, who are we waiting on? We've got Joy. And do we have Kelly? It looks like we are just waiting on Council Member Hinsey.
Okay.
Just for everyone listening, just so you understand what's happening tonight, at 6 o'clock, we will start the meeting with the Encinitas Public Financing Authority. When that meeting concludes, I'll just very quickly switch out the meetings. Everyone else can just stay on Zoom, and then we will proceed to the regular City Council meeting.
Sounds good. So why don't we go ahead and start?
Let me start the recording. Oh, here she comes. All right, it's ready to go. You can start when ready.
Okay, thank you. So this is the Encinitas Public Financing Authority meeting at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. Calling this meeting to order. May we please have a roll call?
Yes, Board Member Hinsey.
Here.
Board Member Lyons.
Here.
Board Member Mosca.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Kranz.
Here.
And Chairperson Blakespear.
Here.
All members of the Encinitas Public Financing Authority Board are present.
Okay, thank you. So we have, it appears that we have not been routinely approving the minutes.
Yes, that was an oversight on my part. So we pulled them all together that haven't been approved, and they are before you this evening.
Okay. We have minutes from February 13, 2013, October 22nd, 2014, August 26, 2015, and January 25th, 2017. I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Okay, the deputy, Councilmember Kranz made a motion and it was seconded by Councilmember Mosca.
Yes, so we'll vote. Board Member Hinsey,
Yes.
Board Member Lyons,
Yes.
Board Member Mosca,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Kranz,
Yes.
and Chairperson Blakespear.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, great, thank you. So next we have item number 2, which is consideration of issuing the Encinitas Public Financing Authority, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, Pacific View School. So I'll let staff take it from here.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council members. This is Teresa McBroom, Director of Finance. And before we begin, I want to let you know that our financing team is on the Zoom call, and they're made up of our bond counsel, Kim Byrons of Best Krieger, Anna Sarabian, who is our financial advisor at Fieldman Rollap, and we have our underwriter, Mike Kavanaugh of Hilltop Securities, and then Finance Manager Stella Huang and Alexis Angelini, finance analyst, worked really hard on this. So let me share my screen and go over my presentation with you. Okay, so staff is requesting council's authorization for the Encinitas Public Financing Authority to refinance the 2014 lease revenue bonds on the Pacific View property and Moonlight Beach Lifeguard Tower Series B bonds. The authority originally issued $10.365 million in taxable bonds for the purchase of the Pacific View Elementary land and building. And $9.13 million is currently outstanding and interest rates ranging from 3 to 5%. The authority will take advantage of the attractive market rate that we have now and will issue the 2021 bonds to advance refund the callable maturities of the 2014 B bonds to lock in low interest rates. The bond issue will be secured by lease payments from the city's general fund, and the lease property remains the same as the original debt issue, which is Fire Station number 5 and the community center. The city, excuse me? Okay, sorry. The city will save approximately $79,000 per year with the gross savings amount of $1.7 million over the term of the loan. And the final maturity date will not change and will remain at October 1st, 2044. The city had its credit presentation call with Standard & Poor's on Monday, and we're expecting to receive our credit rating on June 28th. And then we will close, or we're expected to price at July 14th, and then we'll close on July 28th. And then these are the recommended actions on these bonds. That concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. Do any board members have any questions? Councilmember Mosca.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Teresa, and all of the advisors that are on the line. Thank you for taking advantage of the fact that the market is much more advantageous for us nowadays to get better interest rates for these bonds and in fact save our taxpayers money on these bonds. I've had a chance to look over a lot of the information that you presented. I'm not, while I'm an attorney, I'm not our attorney, and I'm not a bond counsel. And so just in terms of the what the current notes are secured against, does that change with the refinance? You say that it's secured against the general fund revenues. Or is there any difference in terms of the security for the new issuance?
There is no change. The general fund is currently the party that owes the obligation.
So there is no additional collateral that we're using in these additional bond issuance.
That's correct. It's the same collateral.
All right, and then in terms of we were saying that it's about $79,000 a year of savings and 1.7 million over the lifetime of the note, and that the maturity date does not change. Are we forecasting that as savings, or have we locked in an interest rate at this point?
I'll let our financial advisor answer that. I see her coming on. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Teresa. Good evening, council members. Anna Sarabian with Fieldman. Excellent question. These are projected estimated savings. They will be locked in at the time of pricing, which we're right now looking at doing either on or before the 14th of July.
There's no reason to believe. I mean, we don't have crystal ball, but it appears that the market is going to stay where it's at least until that point in time. So we'll be realizing the same, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less.
Correct.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for your help. And those are my questions. And thank you again to staff for taking advantage of this market and refinancing these bonds. It makes sense. And I'm in complete favor of doing that. And I'll move this staff's recommendation at the appropriate time, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. I'll take that as a motion and call on your colleagues. Councilmember Lyons.
I was calling in, raising my hand to make that motion, so I'll go ahead and second.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Krantz.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate the efforts of staff and all the whole team. It's a significant savings that this will represent. I also especially appreciate the fact that the date that the bonds will be paid off has not been changed either. As someone who was around when this transaction originally took place, it was a significant investment and another one of those legacy items that I think is critically important for our city. So, you know, while I am frustrated that we haven't been able to make the Pacific View site more usable, these payments that we're making nonetheless are essentially cementing the availability for that site for future generations. And given the history of the site, it was a gift to the city back in the 1800s. And I am proud to have played a part in being able to secure the property from the school district in order to continue that. I will point out that these bonds are taxable. This was one of those little twists of the financing we borrowed for the purchase of Pacific View, as well as for the construction of the lifeguard tower. And the lifeguard tower, 3 million, was not taxable, but these needed to be taxable because we didn't really know what the use of the property was going to be. So in order to play it safe, we decided to pay a little bit more and make the bonds taxable. And I'm glad we're going to continue that because the future use, that allows us more flexibility in terms of what the future use will be. So thanks to everybody again. And I appreciate the opportunity to save $1,800,000.
Great. So we have a motion and a second.
All right, Board Member Hensy,
Yes.
Board Member Lyons,
Yes.
Board Member Mosca,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Kranz,
Yes.
and Chairperson Blakespear.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, great. Well, thank you to the team who worked on this. And as the deputy mayor just said, it's great to be able to save $1.8 million. So we're really happy about that transaction, and thank you for all your hard work. So now we'll move to the next part of this agenda.
Thank you. If you just give me 1 minute to switch out the meetings. Just give me like 1 minute here.
I mean, I think we need to actually officially adjourn this meeting.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so we are now officially adjourned with my trusty gavel. I'll show you all.
And I'm ready to sit again.